The Point of View is brought to you by Cowbell Coffee. Cowbell Coffee. Taste it, love it. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Kel Charcoal. Happy smile. Enterprise Life. Enterprise. Your advantage. Bell Aqua Active. Bell Aqua Active. Stay true to originality.
Welcome to The Point of View. This is your favorite current affairs show on television. Here on The Point of View, we pick the right topics, get the right guests, and we engage them on relevant issues that concern you. Tonight is a big show. We have the Greater Accra Regional Minister, Henry Quartey, to talk to us about making Accra work and how far we've come. Lots of things have been happening today. In the course of the day, he's been with the MMDCE elects or appointees. They've been having their orientation. The agenda to make Accra work is also on course with different aspects, lots of questions and controversies as well. We'll tell you more about our approach when we come back. Stay with us.
To have enterprise life in your corner. They give solutions that make life easy every day. So now I can focus on my dreams.
Enterprise life wa she share more. I don't know. Yeah, no who do you move?
Hey.
I shock will.
We've got life.
Dream big. Go on and dream big with us.
Dream big with us. Enterprise, your advantage.
Welcome back to The Point of View. So tonight we'll be talking about the Making Greater Accra Work campaign, which the Greater Accra Regional Minister has launched. It's been quite a busy week. The number of issues to look at, we'll be looking first, of course, at the attempt to ban the movement of tricycles on our motorways, and then also to regulate the movement of tricycles and motorbikes on our highways from February. There are also issues with some of the initiatives that have already been started. The issue of where people sell, littering of our streets, and the almighty Make Your Frontage Clean or Keep Your Frontage Clean campaign. That's all on the agenda, plus the latest on the MMDCEs who have been appointed in the Greater Accra region. I'm going to show you quickly the build up to the conversation with the case of the tricycles. Here's a quick report we put together on that issue.
Tricycles have become an increasing means of transport of goods, waste and other items across the city. These are vehicles similar to a bicycle but have 3 wheels, 2 at the back and 1 at the front. They have become more vital to the socio-economic development of individuals and society. Despite its benefits, some of the users of these tricycles violate the road traffic regulations and have also become a nuisance, posing threat to the pedestrians and other road users. The Greater Accra Regional Security Council says, effective November 1, 2021, the tricycles, popularly known as Aboboya, are banned from using the Accra-Tema motorway. This directive will be enforced by a joint task force drawn from the Motor Traffic and Transport Department of the Ghana Police Service, the National Road Safety Authority, and the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority.
Effective 1st November 2021, no motorized tricycle, and I repeat, no motorized tricycle, otherwise known as Aboboya, should ply the motorway. This is just for Aboboya. However, in line with the intended exercise, all motorized tricycles, in particular, motorcycle and tricycle riders should keep away from all major highways and principal streets and restrict their operations to community riding by 1st February 2022.
The chairman of the Accra RECSEC also announced the construction of transfer stations in the various metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies by waste management firms to forestall the transfer of waste along the major highways and principal streets.
It is to ensure that we regulate the services of the tricycle riders. So the DVLA has been spoken to, and DVL officials will move to all the district assemblies, and all users of Aboboya will be registered in their respective assemblies. They will be given riders license. They will be their tricycles will be insured, and then the assemblies will also register them and give them business operating permits.
Per these directives, owners of unlicensed and unregistered motorcycles as well as tricycles also have up to November 30th, 2021 to regularize their documentations or be dealt with legally. Reporting from the Greater Accra Regional Coordinating Council, my name is Ni Ayikwe Okain.
That was Ni Ayikwe Okain with a report with a background, let's make Greater Accra work. This is the point of view. We'll be asking Minister about this. He's joining us in a second to deal with this issue. The other matter we'll be discussing is, of course, the nomination of the MMDCEs. All but 3 have been confirmed for the Greater Accra region. Here's a wrap of what we know so far about that process.
Following the confirmation of 26 out of a total of 29 metropolitan, municipal and district chief executives, the Greater Accra Regional Minister Henry Quartey swore in the confirmed MMDCEs for them to officially commence their duties. He charged the newly elected MMDCEs to work on transforming their respective jurisdictions.
There is no time to waste. Your work starts immediately you leave here, and you must learn the rudiments of the job by reading and understanding all the relevant acts and model standing orders to appreciate what is at stake. MMDCs, the job day ground. Don't go and sit, relax in your offices. I will bring the media to your assembly and embarrass you. It is therefore important that we learn to do things differently, lest we stand the misfortune of losing the trust and confidence that the good people of Ghana have placed in us.
The Greater Accra region has over the years been faced with the issue of flooding, which has in some instances led to the loss of lives and property. The situation has often been attributed to building on waterways and sanitation. Speaking at the swearing-in of the confirmed MMDCs in Accra, the local government minister, Dan Butcher, said government would deal with the MMDCs who issued permits for construction on waterways.
It can never be the case that an assembly will issue a permit for people to build in waterways and turn around to go back and pretend as if they are not aware. It will not happen again. It cannot continue to happen. Every month, at the end of each month, all permits that have been issued from all the 29 assemblies will be presented to the Regional Coordinating Council. All permits. And when you issue a permit, it goes with some revenue generation. All such permits that will be issued will be presented to the Regional Coordinating Council, and it will reach the Ministry of Local Government Decentralization by the 15th of the following month. So that at any point in time, we will know whether the plans that we have all agreed and accepted, we are following it or not. We are in a democracy. We are in a democracy, and we have laws governing our local governance system. I want to assure you that we are going to ensure that the laws, they do work, and they will work.
The head of local government service, Dr. Nana Ato Arthur, also announced plans by his outfit to enhance the academic knowledge of some key staff of the various assemblies for effective service delivery at the local government.
That your staff will be trained as soon as possible, particularly the electrical directors, the engineers, the procurement officers, on contract management, public financial management, financial auditing, etc. The rationale behind this is to re-tune to the best practices in public administration management that are required in achieving the objectives of the service.
It is expected of these newly sworn in MMDCEs to help tackle the myriad of challenges confronting the capital, especially with regard to flooding and sanitation. Reporting from the Nat Hall in Accra, my name is Ni Ayukwe Okain.
So that was Ni Ayukwe Okain, originally from Gamashi, doing that report. So tonight we'll be talking to Honorable Henry Quartey. He's also Member of Parliament for Yabaso Central, Greater Accra Regional Minister. As I indicated, quite a busy week. The President spoke to the MMDCE nominees yesterday. We heard some of that on radio today. And the Minister has been part of that engagement, actually coming from there, I believe. Good evening. Welcome to the show.
Good evening, my brother. How are we doing?
I'm very well. How are you doing?
By the grace of God, I'm very well, thank you.
Wow. Busy day today.
Well, yeah.
As always. How are the newly appointed MMDCs?
Oh, they're in good spirits.
Good spirits.
Good spirits, yeah.
Did they like what the President said yesterday?
Well, of course. I mean, they are ready, and most of them have been reappointed and subsequently confirmed. So they know the rudiments of the game.
So for Greater Accra, how many new versus old?
11.
11
new.
The rest are old.
Yes.
So the work is not that complicated.
I can say that.
Yeah. President said he will sack. In fact, I remember you said a few months ago that you would ask him to sack in 6 months if they are not performing. And he repeated that yesterday.
Yes.
How are they taking that?
Well, I think that I keep singing this song. Yesterday is gone. Okay. Today is another day. If hitherto the idea was that you become a DC, MC, and then you stay for the next 4 years, well, this time around it's changed. So you have to really live up to expectation. If not, quite a number of people were in the queue before you got it. So you don't think that you're the only person who needs a job. So that is going to put them actually on their toes. So they do what society expects of them. Yeah.
What's the orientation doing for them? What are they being? Is it a teaching? Is it just motivational?
Well, almost some of the sector ministers actually passed by to ram them through what is expected of them in those areas. Because as president's representatives for the MMDAs, much is expected of them to drive policy, everything. So it was imperative for the sector ministers to kind of let them know what is expected of them and what should be done and all that. So it's been a very useful exercise, I will say, and I believe that they will take home something good.
Will their appointment take some pressure off you? Because I know you were vetted in March, from April, and there was a whole transition. Now you have going to have all these 20-something people working.
Yeah.
What does that mean for your approach to the work?
It will not necessarily take pressure off me. But what it's going to do is for me physically not to be on the field. I'm going to be in the office and really be on their case. For instance, there's a template that they have to work with. So every morning by 9 o'clock, I should have what happened the previous day in the areas of security, in the areas of sanitation, in the areas of health, and then the Let's Make Accra Work agenda itself. So it's going to be very serious for them, you know.
Wow.
So by 10 o'clock, I should know what is happening in all the 29 assemblies, and if there were incidents, how did they handle them? If there are ongoing situations, what are they, you know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. What role did you play in the process? Because when the names came up initially, there were some concerns, agitations, but it seems as if all but 2 have gone through so far.
Yeah.
And most of them, I think you were there.
Yes. I was.
So what role does a minister play in this process?
Well, as a servant of the region, representing Mr. President, it is incumbent on me to ensure that his nominees are confirmed. And I must say that this was done free, fair, transparent. I mean, you followed it. But I thought I needed to be there to kind of speak to the assembly members. They are the kingmakers anyway, but you needed to give them reasons why they had to confirm Mr. President's nominees.
Were you concerned about any? Particularly AMA sounded like it would be difficult, but we reported that it was almost unanimous. So
well, it was 100%.
Yes,
actually.
But the reaction when the name came up initially didn't suggest it would be so.
Well, we can only thank God and thank the assembly members, all of them, for their commitment and also selfless and dedicated approach to which they voted and also confirmed the President's nominee.
But why did you warn them not to do media interviews in the period?
Well, I thought that it was necessary because around that time, you know, you go into a competition, you are lucky to be re-nominated by the president. Others are waiting. Now, if you start granting interviews and then you make it look like, okay, if you are not careful, most of them are party people. They have alliance with the constituency party, and we needed to ensure that there's that peace in the atmosphere. So that's why I cautioned them actually not to be granted interviews. If not, they could get carried away. Yeah.
Just finally on this point, what do you think the most important quality of an effective MCE is?
Well, I think that it hinges on probably about 2. The MCE, with the greatest of respect, must know what he or she is doing, must also be aware of his or her environment, and also be guided by government policies. We know that in assembly practice, you have to be more or less a little bit kind of independent, you know. So you're able to manage the assembly because the people in the various electoral areas have reposed some high level of confidence and trust in the assembly members. Now, an MCE should be a good leader who should bring all of them together, and then they are able to, as it were, articulate government position on everything, policy matters. Aside that, they must have some innovative ideas to be able to. It's becoming corporate now, especially in the areas of IGF. I have told them that I don't think they should wait for District Assembly Common Fund before they do anything. They should come up with innovative ideas. And I'm sure that when corporate bodies see that MCEs are now up to the game, they will surely get involved at the local level.
I see. What's happening to the last 2?
Well, Lejo Kuku, Mr. President's nominee, was rejected. Ningo Pram Pram hasn't been done at all. But we are also mindful of the 21 days. And so we have renominated them.
So both
Ningo Pram
Mordecai Akwashi and Latif Amano,
yes, they have been renominated by the Mr. President.
The Lejo Kuku said Mordecai, he doesn't speak Ga.
Well, that's what we hear.
But that's serious.
Well, he was a constituency chairman.
For the same place?
Yeah, and he's lived there for over 20 years. So he's not like somebody who just come from nowhere.
So he's not a stranger?
I wouldn't say that.
But they are concerned that he can't speak the language.
Well...
And Teshi is a very important place.
I agree with you, but I really don't want to go into that properly, but we have to look at it from another angle. I very much agree that because it's around the coastal area, more especially Lejokuku, yes, fine. But if you look at the composition of the electorates in Lejokuku, it's more cosmopolitan than Accra itself. Because apart from the left side, which has the Teshimami itself, on the right-hand side, it's a multi-system, you know.
So you expect him to go through?
Well, we leave it in the hands of God and pray that assembly members will do us the honor.
All right. This is the point of view. We have the regional minister for Greater Accra in studio. We're just warming up to get a sense of the MMDC situation. When we come back, we'll talk about the clean your frontage and green your frontage issue. We'll also deal with the issue of motorcycles, tricycles, and all of those important conversations around the region. You've started sending your questions already, so I'll throw a couple to him whilst we deal with those issues as well. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
It pays to stay original. Choose Belaqua Active and stay true to originality. Try it. This investment has been vested and approved by the FDA.
So, it's just the two of us. Can't beat this.
Beat this?
Oh, hey.
You can't beat the Champions League,
Europa League, La Liga, Serie A, and the Premier League. All 380 matches of it, with its own dedicated Super Sport channel, my G.
Get a HD decoder, dish kit, and 1 month of DSTV access for only 169 Ghanaian cedis.
Creamy Plus is a fully skimmed evaporated milk. Creamy Plus is available in a shop near you.
This message has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Welcome back to The Point of View. Tonight we're speaking to Greater Accra Regional Minister Honorable Henry Quartey. He's also the Member of Parliament for Ayawaso Central. So the big issue, he's launched Operation Clean Your Frontage initiative. The President launched that a couple of days ago. We did a quick report on this. Initially we thought it was just for Accra, but it's the whole region. So Minister, you're saying basically from Ada to Weija, in fact, Botiano to Dodowa, Operation Clean Your Frontage.
That is correct. Greater Accra.
So means you're going to do this through the assemblies?
Very well.
Just explain how it's going to work.
Okay, so Operation Clean Your Frontage is hinged actually on the Let's Make Accra Work agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you recall or you remember, I mean, when we were growing up, there was this, it used to be there. It's nothing new.
Mm-hmm.
We are not reinventing the wheel or something, but it used to be there where we call them Papatan councillors. Mm-hmm. They come to your house, they dip a stick into the water, see how hygienic the place is and all that. Now, in collaboration, or rather the assemblies were tasked to pass a bylaw, which we call Operation Clean Your Frontage. And I want to say this. When you look at Ghana's constitution, right, which I have here, Article 2413, and I quote, subject to this constitution, this assembly shall be the highest political authority in the district and shall have deliberative, legislative, and executive powers. I hope we are clear on this. So the MMDAs have got the powers. I mean, coming from Ghana's constitution.
Deliberative, executive, and legislative
powers. That is Article 2413 of Ghana's constitution. Arising out of that, you then derive another power from the Local Governance Act 2016, Act 936. Okay, that gives you the powers, for that matter, to pass bylaws. So, with this, we directed the MMDCEs to all pass the bylaws, and so they went, did the initial draft, and we engaged the stakeholders, GUTA, AGI, Advertisers Association, Market Queens, ProTour, GPRTU, name them. And then finally, I engaged the members of parliament in Greater Accra, both sides of the political divide. In fact, we went through the bylaws clause by clause, as I said, and then we all came together and agreed on how the bylaw must go. In all this, we had a representative from the Attorney General who sat in it and actually did the drafting, guided by the Mother Constitution. So we don't, as it were, deviate from the Mother Constitution. So same was done, and then we brought it back to the members of parliament. We looked at it, and then the law allows the RCC to look at it, whether the laws, as I said, conforms with the mother law. It doesn't deviate from it. We did that, and subsequently it went for gazetting. And since then, it has Operation Clean Your Frontage is now a legal document, duly gazetted. Now, what Operation Clean Your Frontage seeks to do is that businesses, households, companies, etc., shall be responsible for their immediate environment, in fact, their frontage and immediate environment, which includes the gutters and then in the middle of the street. That does not take away the responsibility of the assemblies, who has to continue doing their desilting and all that. But this puts some responsibility on the landlords, owners of businesses and all that. So you either pave your frontage or you do some greening or concrete. They're all there. These are not new. So Operation Clean Your Frontage has been passed. Now, we need a solid foundation to do the enforcement of the bylaws. So what did we do? We now recruiting over 3,000 to 3,500 youth who will be trained very well, and then they come out, they are deployed to the various assemblies, and then they will help with the enforcement of the bylaw. That's one. Number two, in this, the Metropolitan Municipal Health Officers will also be deployed. They will go from house to house to make sure that the environment and all that are clean. And so we have spoken to the National Service Secretariat. And I can say that they will be posting between 1,000 to 4,000 National Service personnel to the Regional Coordinating Council in Greater Accra. Now, these national personnel will be deployed to the MMDEs to help the MEHOs to ensure compliance and implementation and all that. Now, we looked at it that hitherto you had about 4 or 5 assemblies depending on one compaction truck which made it virtually impossible for rubbish to be lifted in our respective assemblies, and sometimes in the areas. You see heaps of rubbish all over the place. So we managed to lobby the waste management companies. Fortunately, one of them had actually brought into the country over 130 to 140 compaction trucks. And I thought this is a perfect opportunity. So we have been able to secure 58 of those compaction trucks. And so now each assembly is going to have a minimum of 1 compaction truck. That's the ball
in line with this operation.
That is correct.
So that when the people clear the refuse, there's somebody to pick it up.
Very well.
So is it going to be daily, or there's a specific day in the week we are cleaning our frontage?
Well, if you feel that you do it weekly and it's clean, it's your call. If you feel that you have to do it daily because of the environment that you live in, it's your call.
So because I'm asking in relation to whether there will be the trucks available if we all clean every day.
That is what I'm trying to outline. So you have the compaction trucks, and we are saying that in some areas, setting 1 compaction truck will not help. For instance, AMA. You have Okaishi, you have Mokola, you have Kantamantom, you have the Yam Market, Konkomba Yam Market, you have Okankwe South, which is on the AMA, the whole of Kanishi. And then you have Blekuma Central, you have Abosokai. You cannot give them 1 compaction truck. So we're looking at doing about 4 for them. And then the business center itself, where the congestion is.
I see.
We try, and between Circle to Carnation, the roundabout, we'll put about 5 or 6 compaction trucks just to make sure that they lift almost every now and then. So you look at the Ayawaso West Wagon as well. If you look at the coverage area, you cannot do 1 compaction truck. And when I get to the Abubuya, you understand why. Ayawaso West Wagon stretches from Abelinkwe all the way through to Gimpa, cutting through to Fiesta Royale, Airport Residential Area, Legon Campus, Opongolo area, East Legon. Very well. So they are likely to get about 6 compaction trucks so that they are able to stay within their jurisdiction to lift this rubbish. Now, we are aware that these compaction trucks cannot go into the corners of some of the residential areas. And that is why the waste management companies have some ongoing arrangements with the Tricycles, which we call
the infamous Aboboya.
Very well. So they go to what we call the Lungus.
Okay.
To go, and then they pick up the rubbish, and then they go and dump them at the landfill sites. Now, we thought of it that the Aboboya has become a nuisance, I will say, on the high streets, principal streets, and the major streets. So, as part of Operation Clean Your Frontage, and this is what has created all the hoo-ha in town, we are saying that the waste management companies would have to build transfer sites in each assembly. Without a transfer site, then you cannot ban Aboboya. So each assembly will now, as part of the Operation Clean Your Frontage, it is mandatory, it is non-negotiable.
Okay.
So there should be transfer sites in all the 29 assemblies. In some cases, there will be more than 1 transfer site. And that is a place like Okankwe North. You have N1, separating Akwiteman and that of La Paz area. And we are saying that when the bylaw takes effect, Aboboyas cannot be seen on the N1. Very well. So what do? You need 2 transfer sites so that they stay within the catchment area to work. So this is how it's going to go. Now, we have met with the leaders of Aboboya and assured them that this government does not intend to deprive the informal sector of their daily livelihood. Rather, what is Operation Clean Your Frontage bylaw seeks to do is rather regulate the operations of...
so in a sense, the Aboboya is actually connected to the Clean Your Frontage?
Yes, they are. Because without them, you cannot have a successful exercise in
So if I get it right, for November 1, the Aboboya should not be on the motorways.
That is all it is.
Then up to February,
bingo.
You are saying that on the highways, they are also not to be there?
Yes.
Okay. The minority is saying this is unconstitutional. And Agboja, I'm sure you know him.
Yes.
He's saying that you must liaise with the Minister for Roads and the appropriate agencies and bring the appropriate law to Parliament to be passed. What's your comment on that?
So can we go back to Ghana's Constitution again, Article 2413, and it reads, subject to this Constitution, maybe you can display it, a district assembly shall be the highest political authority in the district, and shall, the operational word is shall, have deliberative, legislative, and executive powers.
For things pertaining to the district?
Absolutely. Now, the motorway falls within Ladadekotopon Municipal Assembly, Lejokuku Municipal Assembly, Tema West Municipal Assembly, Tema Metropolitan Assembly, Ashaman, Adentan, West Wagon. These are assemblies, and they are exercising their legislative and executive powers, saying that because Aboboyas are a nuisance and they pose risk on the motorway. Aside they not having the rider's license, their cycles are not properly insured. They dump refuse anyhow in the middle of the road.
Including in front of your Alajo Junction.
Yes, you went there to do the story.
And then when you move the next day, another one to
Thank you very
continue
much.
his work.
Thank you. So clearly, people have had several accidents, and I have a report from the police, Ghana Police Service. Between 2021, the first quarter of 2020 and 2021, there has been 99 accidents on the motorway. Just by tricycles.
Wow. So, just to clarify, the tricycles for motorway, the bylaws of the 6 or 7 assemblies around will take care of that.
Absolutely.
Then the February issue, that is more broad-based. Is that also going to be the bylaws?
Exactly. Because every assembly has the right to pass a bylaw. They have the legislative and executive powers to do so. So my good brother Agboja should avert his mind to Article 241 and look at it carefully. Because the same mother, this is our mother constitution in Ghana.
So these bylaws don't need to come to Parliament once they have been ratified by the Assembly.
I want us to look at what executive powers are.
No, you've read it already.
Legislative.
You've read it twice already. I just want to be clear.
Yes.
But just why are you waiting till February to include the others?
Good. So what it is that for such a bylaw, you would agree with me that you cannot enact or rather implement a bylaw without proper education.
Okay.
So we are saying that for this bylaw to work effectively and efficiently, there must be a mass education, proper sensitization, some awareness, so that it becomes like an everyday slogan, and then it takes effect in 1st February. Again, for it to work, and for the Aboboyas to be restricted to their respective assemblies, all the transfer sites must be ready.
Okay.
And you cannot just say 1st November. It cannot be possible. It means
so
that
in a sense, you are hoping that by February, the transfer sites would have been put in place.
Absolutely. And also, we are saying that we have spoken to DVLA. So DVLA will go to the assemblies and register riders of Aboboya in their respective assemblies. They will give them riders license. They will insure them and then also register the tricycles. When this has been done, the assemblies will also register the users of the tricycle and give them business operating permits.
Is it possible to do waste segregation at the home level? Can that, or am I asking for too much?
Well, I want to look at how we can get the environment clean first. That is another issue that is more policy driven. And so I think that is another stage that central government will have to now look at carefully and do wider consultation and also have companies that have the capacity.
I asked
to do
because
so.
when I met that rubbish at the Alajo Junction, the sheer mix of things that Boboya was carrying was not healthy. And these are things together.
Yeah.
So, and he didn't even cover it. So even if he hasn't fallen, the number of pieces of rubber he distributed and the flies that he's carrying around, it's almost like a disease-carrying entity. So do you have any plan for the way the tricycle must move, how it should be covered and that type of thing?
That is the more reason why we are saying that they cannot use the major roads on the principal streets, because you see, when they operate within the assemblies, these things can be managed. For instance, let's use this area, which is Koliklote. So if you have an Aboboya working around this stretch, they are not supposed to hit the graphic road.
Okay.
So they are just within these lanes going up and down. So clearly they can manage it because there's a transfer site here. On the other side, you have another Aboboya working there. Then Osu Township, same. So the main streets is going to be managed by the compaction trucks.
Okay.
The waste management companies, that's the big trucks. They lift the rubbish. And then the Aboboyas will go and dump whatever they have picked from the Lungu-Lungus to the transfer sites.
Okay.
Now, there is another calculation that we did. Now, hitherto, well, we have not started the implementation, but you can see that as we speak, Aboboyas, most of them are doing work and pay. Now, they lift rubbish from, say, Koliklote Adabraka here, and they ride from here all the way to Nsawam, somewhere, to go and dump the rubbish. Sometimes they spend 3 days or so, and that is why they have been dumping the rubbish.
Is it inefficient?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They are not covered and all that. So, assuming they charge, say, 50 cedis to go and dump, and they spend 3 days there, obviously it doesn't help. But this time round, if they are picking rubbish from city, and they know that there is a transfer site just around, let's say, Farisco area, just for the discussion's sake, they can do 10 times in a day.
Okay.
So when we engage them, they saw, this is good. It's a win-win situation for us. So you would notice that so far, the Aboboya leaders have not spoken, because we engage them. Like, I don't know whether we brought this so that you can show it for viewers to see. We
actually played a report before you came.
Yes, we engaged them, and they were happy.
So you don't expect any problem from the users of the tricycles themselves?
Oh, there is nothing that is perfect on this earth. Definitely 1 or 2 people will complain, but we want the system to work. You see, it's just like Agbogbloshing. When we started, it was like, this will never happen. But I stood my ground. We had support from the presidency. We had support from the media. And today, they are the same people who are singing praises to the president, saying that, hitherto we're in hell, but now we are in heaven. Our business is booming. We are living in a humane environment. So I'm saying that this day will be remembered in just about 6 months' time, and people will say, this is good for us.
We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll read some questions for you and also deal with a few other issues. The onion market has been moved. The vehicle market is also supposed to be moved. We're discussing all of that when we come back. Stay with us.
Mama Chelsea.
Fe.
Different era, better result. Time has changed and time has brought Kel Chocolate Toothpaste. Healthy gums, anti-cavity, fresher breath, and it whitens teeth. Kel Chocolate Toothpaste. Sankofa.
Yenchi. Kel Chocolate Toothpaste.
Happy smile.
Brand new shows are blossoming on GoTV this spring. Love certainly proves itself strange on Star Life.
Do you hear me, please?
while Miriam uncovers a truth about her past that'll change her future. Then climb the corporate ladder with real estate tycoons on SeaWorld.
You are an exception. Always remember that.
And on Telemundo, Lolly takes custody of her late best friend's 2 children. Get and stay connected to GoTV for world-class entertainment every single day. GoTV. Love it.
Good Day Energy Drink. Excessive drinking can be detrimental to your health. Not recommended for persons under 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and people sensitive to caffeine.
This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome back to The Point of View. My guest is Honorable Henry Quartey, is the MP for Ayawaso Central and also the Greater Accra Regional Minister. A few quick questions for you. Bernard, please ask Minister if he has given up on the fight against pedestrians refusing to use the footbridge at Medina Adenta Road. It's rampant and worrying. Sometimes they cross right under the bridge at the risk of being knocked down. This is from Seth. Joseph from Tudu wants to know when you are coming to Tudu to clear the Aflao station and in front of the fire service. This one is a commendation. Honorable Henry Quartey has exhibited exemplary leadership since assuming office as regional minister. His ability to work effectively with both MPP and NDC MPs and party officers towards development within the Greater Accra is amazing. He's a great inspiration to us budding politicians. May God continue to protect him and his family. Ben and Nick, they are from Pig Farm. They are from the Greater Accra Regional Office. Can you deal with the Medina Zongo Junction issue and the Tudu issue?
So it's very simple. You see, about a month and a half ago, I must say all the MMDCs were anxious. They were waiting for their names to be mentioned and all that. So I noticed that the work there has slowed down a bit.
Took their eye off the ball.
Yes, but I can tell you that from next week, the systems will be back to normal, so we'll be fine. So they should just bear with us. I mean, it's the same lady who has done the work so far in the last 6 months, Honorable Jennifer Dede Afiagbeji. She's done very well. So, yeah, you know.
I see. Ben, I ask, what about the Tudu issue? The Tudu Aflao station in front of fire service.
But let me use the opportunity to say something. Now that the MMDCs has been sworn in, Henry Quartey, excuse my language, cannot be the blowman. So now, and I forgot to tell you this, as part of the Operation Clean Your Frontage, we will have a call center.
Okay.
So real time, you see a problem somewhere, you call the call center and then it's directed quickly to the task force on the ground to deal with it. So matters of this nature will come to me and then I relay to the MCE for Koliklote who will go and deal with it. So I can assure him that now that he's talked about it, they are all listening to it and the MCE will deal with it. So Henry Quartey will not be seen on the field that much going forward.
Are you concerned that people are starting to think you are becoming too known?
Oh, no. You see,
not worried about that.
You see, let me tell you something. When you sign up to be a soldier, you have signed up to be a soldier. And so in case there is a battle, there is war, you wear your uniform and your platoon commander says, Henry Quartey, tomorrow we are going to Lebanon, you don't complain. I'm signed up to be a politician. I'm a regional minister. I'm soliciting the support of all and sundry so we can get Accra working again. And so there's nothing that is perfect. Constructive criticisms is part of it. Even to be criticized negatively, it empowers you. It gives you the opportunity to do the checks and balances, but you must not relent in your efforts to get to your final destination. And that, by the grace of God, I shall do.
Christmas is coming, and I know that because of commercial activity, you see a lot of on-the-spot market springing up on the pavement. In the past, it's been difficult to deal with this because some are seasonal. What's your plan for that? Because I can predict that people would want to do this at Christmas. They say people are not buying, so they are coming to the road. Do you have a special Christmas program?
Even Farisco. You notice that prior to the commencement of the exercise around Farisco, the traders have been on the pavement all the way through.
Yeah.
Now the task force are there from Monday to Friday, and they say, look, Saturday and Sunday, come and sell.
Okay.
When you go to advanced countries, they have weekend markets that people go.
Okay.
So you see, gradually we'll get to the point that they understand that, So there's a Sunday market.
Okay.
So everybody can do something, but there's a time. Maybe from 9 to 5 o'clock, everybody closes and then we can move on. Yes, it's Christmas. We are human beings. We may look at the situation and say, okay, because it's a festive period, are we able to adjust and have a meeting with them to say, look, in the next 21 days, maybe you can do A, B, C, D, but on the 27th or so and so, 1st January, everything is back to normal. We are human beings. We should be able to do that.
Is traffic part of your problem? Because Accra has become very choked. And it's not even Christmas yet.
I think that I stand to be corrected, but I think that it is the effect of not using the sirens anymore.
Can you explain that?
Well, because hitherto, most people were using sirens or blaring and they were going through. But if you look at it these days, everybody's in the queue. So certainly you have traffic and other things that are happening.
I think there's more than that too.
There is.
There's a lot of traffic these days, even sometimes 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, there is.
Non-rush hour. Is it something of concern? Because I know as regional minister, you mentioned sanitation, you mentioned health, you mentioned security,
discipline and all that.
And I think traffic is security.
It is, but you see, I am also careful that you don't veer into areas that is multi-sectorial.
Okay.
So some of these things is the Minister for Transport who has to sit with the National Road Safety Authority and then look at the actual cause of the traffic.
Okay.
When they have been able to identify the causes and they come up with policies, then Henry Quartey comes in.
Make sure it works.
Because then we, as a regional coordinating council, have the mandate to coordinate the implementation of that policy, and also through the RCC monitor and evaluate same. So I expect the road minister, transport minister to
but for a lot,
same.
we did a bit of study. We found out a lot of traffic lights were not working. That certainly should be of concern.
Oh, indeed it is. I mean, it's come up in a few of the media platforms that I've availed myself on. So yes, as a regional security chairman of the Regional Security Council, which is RECSEC, some of these things we take note and then we write to national security, because you see, most people think that national security is just there to, as it were, scare people and create fear and panic. But really, national security sounds the early warning alarm bells. So just as you're saying, so national security will pick it, and then they now write to the Minister for Transport and say, hey, you know, the traffic lights are not working in Accra, and we think that if you don't do A, B, C, D in time, this is what will happen. And so it is incumbent also on the Regional Security Council when we see things of this nature, because we manage the region for Mr. President and, of course, the cabinet ministers. So we send this report for national security to send same to the cabinet ministers.
Pokwasi interchange was in the news for many reasons, including fufu pounding and stuff. I don't know what you make of all of that. I mean, they pounded fufu there, they stole the barriers, and I mean, I don't know.
But you see, I'm thankful to God that through the effective collaboration that the RCC has with the media houses and even the general public, there is an awakening call these days.
Yeah.
Because you see, hitherto, this fufu business would have, okay, well, business as usual. But as we speak, these days, people will send you, this traffic light is not working. Oh, somebody has dumped a refuse here. So I get the feeling that something is changing. And I try to do this analogy to say, look, you have a bucket in the middle of a compound, and it's raining heavily, cats and dogs. But you don't expect the bucket to fill like you've opened a tap. It will get filled, but with time. And this is a major change. It has behavioral and attitudinal issues as well. So if we all get involved and we avert our mind to it, I think that with the right attitude, the good mindset, we will get there. Why do we have to go to Dubai? Only to go and stand on escalators, take pictures. Only to go and stand on green grass and take pictures and say we went on a holiday. Can Ghana be a Dubai? Yes, it can.
What are the other regional ministers telling you?
Oh, wow. Well, I've just left some of them because we've been in the orientation workshop since yesterday. And You see, all the fingers are not equal. What pertains in Greater Accra may not pertain in a Volta region, for instance. So I think all regional ministers will look at issues in their region and then deal with it.
But you are aware your region is now the biggest by population. You have the largest region and the smallest physically.
Correct.
So it means your population density has gone through the roof.
Absolutely.
Space is now a challenge. So you are governing a region with so many people in such a little space. That must be quite complicated.
Well, it's a city, and everywhere you go, when you go to New York, it's like that. I mean, I find it interesting when there's this complaints in Accra. When you go to New York, I mean, there was a time that I went to the Ghana High Commission, and we had to circle for about 2 hours. We couldn't get any place to park. So eventually, the driver had to get stopped in front of the embassy, and then he sped off. He had to go and park about 2-3 miles away. That's where he got parked.
So that's the problem with cities.
And then eventually, he sat in a taxi, came and dropped him. In some places, I know that because of congestion, there are days that they allow cars to even go into the city. I think it's in the UK or so.
Will you do congestion charge in Accra?
Oh, I don't have the powers to do that.
Some people think that we should block cars from maybe Cocoa Board all the way to Tudu.
I don't have the powers to do that. Maybe the transport
Can you
minister.
Suggest that?
Oh, why? Why
so
not?
we can just walk. So that the trot will end at Parisco, and then the rest of us will walk to Accra.
You see, when you go to advanced countries, they have other means of
enforcing it.
No, the transport system. They have the rail system that works very well. So you can just jump on the tram.
Yeah.
You can jump on the train, and there's a taxi also that goes around. Unfortunately, the way our roads are designed,
it may not work.
Exactly.
We wish you well. Thank you for talking to us. And as ever, the media is there not just to check, but also to support good initiatives. That was Henry Quartey.
So, this is very important.
You want to give closing speech? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Closing
I want to put on record, and I'm sorry to say this, but my good friends in graphic misreported.
Okay.
Because you see, they said by 1st November, Henry Quartey was going to ban Aboboya in Greater Accra. That was where the issue started. But we are saying that it is effective 1st November, only with the motorway. So Aboboyas can use the spin test, they can use Ajirengano until
February ending.
February 1st.
February 1st,
2022. By which time they would have been registered, they would have been insured, they would have had their protective gears, and transfer sites would have been built. So clear. Let us not have this confusion in town that Henry Quartey wants to. And also, to say that I do not have the powers to do so, I think I have been able to clear that one. Perhaps we can even look at...
I think we've done enough. We've done
very
enough
well.
on that.
I hear you.
Thank you so much, Henry Quartey, MP for Ayawaso Central and Greater Accra Regional Minister on a number of initiatives. Thank you for watching. The Business Dashboard is next with Mina W. Stay with CCTV. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
The Point of View is brought to you by Cowbell Coffee. Cowbell Coffee. Taste it, love it. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Kel Charcoal. Happy smile. Enterprise Life. Enterprise. Your advantage. Bell Aqua Active. Bell Aqua Active. Stay true to originality.